Yesterday, we explored the idea that the law is an expression of love, God's blueprint for nurturing healthy relationship with Him and with one another. Today, I would like to focus on this statement from Paul in Romans chapter 7, verse 12. He said, "Therefore, the law is holy, and the commandment holy and just and good." Think about that for a moment. Holy, just, and good. These words are typically used to describe something that is burdensome or oppressive. When we say that something is holy, we mean it's set apart, reflecting the very character of God. When we say it is just, we are pointing to its fairness and righteousness. And when we call it good, we affirm its positive nature, meant to benefit us rather than to harm us. Why then do so many people struggle with the concept of the law? One reason is that some time confuse God's law with human laws, which can feel arbitrary and overly restrictive. But God's law, according to Paul, is a reflection of who God is, a God of love, justice, and mercy. Instead of being a prison fence, it's more like a protective boundary. Imagine a loving parent who sets clear guidelines for their kids. These boundaries aren't meant to stifle the child's freedom, but to help them thrive safely and happily. Another confusion arises when we wrestle with our own weakness. In Romans chapter 7, Paul speaks openly about the tension between what God's law required and our human tendency to fall short. The fact that we struggle against sin doesn't make the law bad. Rather, it reveals how deeply we need God's transforming grace in our life. The law, by showing us our flaws, point us to Christ, the only one who can bridge the gap between our sinfulness and God's holiness. So, why does Paul insist the law is holy, just, and good? First, its obligation originates from a holy God. Since God's character is without flaw, everything that comes from Him is inherently pure and righteous. Second, it protects our relationship with God and with each other. Just as no society can function without a standard of right and wrong, so our spiritual community relies on God's moral guidelines to flourish. Finally, it leads us to Christ. Knowing we can't keep the law perfectly in our own strength, we turn to Jesus for both forgiveness and the power to obey. And that is the nugget. Thank you for studying. I will see you tomorrow.